I'm going to make some cowboy muffins this morning. You know, I had some guy write in and calls himself a preacher, and he called me a liar. Now, I'm 86 years old, and things like that don't bother me at all. I just laugh them off and know that age and experience always trumps over youthfulness and ignorance. But he said I wasn't cowboy cooking because I wasn't doing it in a cast iron pot over a campfire. Well, I got news for you. Cowboys today live in houses that they have indoor plumbing, running water, electricity, and ride the range in pickup trucks and helicopters. And I don't know of any cowboy alive who would load up 50 pounds of cast iron on a horse to go out and work cattle. Ranching has changed over the years, but cows haven't. They still require the same amount of work as they did 50 or 100 years ago. So I cook the way cowboys did then. I use what I have, the least number of items. There went the coffee pot to go with my muffins, and do things the simplest way possible. So now join me while I make a pan of cowboy muffins. You start off with about an inch of butter here. Some people measure in teaspoons, tablespoons, quarts, gallons. For butter, I just do it in inches and toss that in the microwave to melt. You start off with about a cup of baking mix. Now, baking mix is just, no matter whether it's Betty Crocker or Aunt Jemima or what, I use Krusteaz because it's cheaper and it really works. Buy it at Sam's, the 10-pound bag. Put in about a cup of that. And I do use a teaspoon here. Actually, it's a nice teaspoon. And about that much cinnamon. And these muffins need a second spice, and I use cloves. You can use nutmeg or allspice or anything like that, anise. But they are really strong, so you need just a very little of that or you'll overdo it. Kind of mix that stuff all together. You know, if that preacher fella had called a real working cowboy a liar, he'd have probably been invited out behind the barn for a good ass whipping. But it doesn't bother me anymore. Next you put in an egg. And about 1/3 of a cup, a good swallow of milk, because you want your batter to be pretty heavy and thick for muffins. It's not as thin as pancake or cake batter. And just mix all that up. You get that mixed up pretty well and pour in a 1/2 cup of sugar. And combine that. And see, it's making a sticky, heavy, sticky dough. That's what you want for muffins. Otherwise, they overflow on the pan and in your oven and make a real mess. Then you spray your muffin pan so they don't stick. Talking about cowboys, I was born on the ranch and grew up on it. Stayed there till I was 18 years old and decided there must be a better way to make a living than fighting cows and horses. So I went to college. After I got out of Army, I went to college and I became a retail sales manager. Made a good living at that, but good enough to where I could, by saving my money and working hard at other things, side jobs, I retired at 50 years old. Best thing that I ever did. Now, sort of a standard thing is raisins that they put in these, but I have some chopped pecans here that I'm going to throw in, and a few raisins too. There's no set items you can use, just whatever you have. There they are. Fold those in. And fill the muffin pans about a little over half full. This much always makes 6 muffins. Now you want to set your oven. That's something else. He said that Cowboys didn't have toaster ovens. So what? Set the oven at about 400. Put these in there, and it's going to take about 15 minutes. So the next time you see me, I'll have a muffin and a cup of coffee in my hand. As I said, I retired at 50 years old to do what I wanted to, and it's been the best 36 years of my life. And I've done that without ever going out to try to catch a fish or playing a round of golf. I did write a little. I've written over 150 magazine articles and 7 books. My wife and I have traveled over most of the world. I've flown gliders and sailplanes and airplanes as much as I wanted to. Been above 30,000 feet in a glider over 100 times. So, here's to you, preacher. I would give you a 1-finger salute, but I think I have more class than that.